strategy, but I'm sorry. Once a guy like that gets going and you can't stop him, at least apparent to me and other people on social media, why the hell isn't Izzo or whoever demanding that this guy be double teamed?
Well, if you listened to our afternoon show yesterday, which you probably didn't because you're in sunny Florida and you're golfing, right?
No, I wasn't golfing.
That was the drizzle. That was the time where the drizzle was.
You know, Mike and Rico were both like, let Dickinson, the way you beat Michigan, let Dickinson do what he wants and cover everybody else.
Okay, I understand that that's fine to start a game with. But when it was apparent that Julius Marble, Bingham, whoever couldn't do anything with them, you gotta help yourself and just trust that Michigan won't make outside shots. Now, Caleb Houston was starting to come around a little bit. I mean, he was shooting the ball well, 16 points. But nobody, they shot the ball from three okay, but they weren't going crazy here. After the first half, wouldn't you double him? He was abusing them.
I don't understand.
What you've seen from these two teams, though, in the last week, even 4 days, just go back to the weekend, is the fact that
up and down.
There's no hope for me for either one of them getting out of the first weekend in the NCAAs. Because they are so crazily inconsistent. Now the draw could dictate.
Right, it's all about the draw and the matchup. That's clearly what that first weekend is going to be about for both teams.
I mean, last night was damaging to Michigan State in terms of probably locked into the 7 to 10 seed now.
Yeah.
Unless they really make a run.
They're better. These teams are better off being 11.
It's always been that way. It's one of the secrets of the NCAA tournament is you're better off being 11 than a 7 through 10 because you want to avoid the likelihood of a 1 and 2 advancing to the Sweet 16 is percentage-wise so high, especially a 1. So I mean, Michigan State, especially, I would like Michigan against a 2 more than Michigan State. Look, but I think State still has the goods to maybe make a longer run.
But that's only if Michigan can get hot.
Right.
And like we saw last night, right? Hunter Dickinson goes off, or they find a way to be more efficient on the perimeter because it's not like they shot 12 threes and only hit 7 of them. I mean, so the percentages are fine. They're just not getting a lot of great shots. They didn't need those last night. And the fact that Michigan State in that 14-0 stretch and for even longer periods of time, they couldn't hit anything. They were getting decent shots, decent looks at the basket, but they couldn't hit anything.
The little things of the NCAA tournament and how you actually how could either one of these teams make a Sweet 16? Because I absolutely think that's their ceiling at the very, very best.
It's the way it happens. The way it happens, God, if either of those teams can somehow shoot from the outside efficiently, and they have not been able to do it consistently. For Michigan State, I mean, Gabe Brown, he disappeared for a while. He kept them in the game a little bit last night. They need guys like that. Michigan, same thing. Dickinson usually will get his, but if they can't shoot from the outside, they're done. And for some reason, Houston, Brooks, whoever can hit from the outside. Yeah, they could get through the first weekend, but historically, small history here this season, both teams, if they can't hit the 3, they're done.
And that's the thing. I think that shows up in one of their first 2 games in the tournament. I mean, first off, Michigan pretty much locked itself in last night, barring losing out. If they lose out, they might be vulnerable. They probably will be. And it would depend on what happens around the rest of the country. But I would say this: if you're a Michigan fan, I would root for them to win one of their next 3 games because what they did last night, there's no way now they'll play next Wednesday in the Big Ten tournament. They can't be an 11 to 14 seed. So, to me, I want them to be an 11. I want them to barely get in, barely avoid the playing game, and then you don't have to play a 1 or 2 seed in the first weekend. And if you play your best basketball, especially the second game, you could get to a Sweet 16. But I just think it's all fool's gold. It's like, I think for both these teams, it's just like, what's the point?
I think you can say that for a lot of teams, though. You obviously look at these guys so critically because you see them all the time. Look at Ohio State. They look like they were really, really good with momentum. And who did they lose to Maryland last weekend, and they lose to Nebraska at home yesterday? And now they have to play Michigan State in Michigan. I mean, how the hell does that happen? So there's so many, variables.
There's no great team.
Right.
I don't think there's a lot of really good teams. So I guess what I just said might be stupid because Greg would point out what I just said with what's the point. Well, what was the point of remember the 10-seed South Carolina team that made that one Final Four?
Yeah, the 7-seed South Carolina team. And UCLA last year, they played in the playoff game. I mean, what's the point? I mean, look, we talk about Michigan State, and one thing they can say is how many tournaments they've made in a row. I mean, I'd rather make the tournament than not,
Yeah, but you look at, like, Wisconsin beats Purdue last year, okay? There are people are screaming, college basketball, quotes, air quotes, goons like Jeff Goodman and people like that. Why don't you make Wisconsin a 1 seed? Okay, they're playing really well right now. Do you think Wisconsin can win the NCAA tournament?
I do.
I mean, well, yeah.
Well, if you're talking about this year, it's simply because there's no great team.
And they got a great player. That's the whole reason.
Johnny Davis is a great player.
Same with Purdue.
About it.
But it's Purdue.
There's the Matt Painter factor.
If right now, if you put those two teams on the floor, which great player do you think plays better? And that's really what it comes down to.
I take Wisconsin right now to make a longer run, and that's because
I would take
Matt
Wisconsin
Painter.
too because the Painter issue. Your team doesn't coach very well, or they don't have success in the tournament. But Jaden Ivey, I think, is better than Davis.
Right.
Purdue has all the makings, and I think Greg will agree with this as well, of losing at about 9 o'clock on Sunday night of the second round.
So they'll start that game probably 9 o'clock in the second round. You won't be able to watch. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. That's also the text number as well. We invite your texts, we invite your phone calls, talking about what happened at Chrysler last night. Also on the program today, there was the State of the Union last night. What's the state of Detroit sports? That's coming up at 7 o'clock. Wojo, Wednesdays with Wojo, will join us at 9 o'clock, or 9:30 I should say. It's the Stoney and Jansen program, 97.1 The Ticket. One of the best places to go instead of Florida would be Las Vegas, Nevada. And when you go to Las Vegas, what do you have? You have fun, you have good weather, and you have the D. That's right, the D is downtown. It's so much fun hanging out, watching all the people who walk around downtown. Kind of a freak show, but it's in a good way. And the D, they take care of you. They got great food there. Joe Vicari's Andiamo Italian Steakhouse right there at the D. You want to golf? They'll hook you up with some interesting tee times there. They're all the best courses in Las Vegas. Other concierge will hook you up. The odds are better downtown than they are on the Strip as well. And the D is a lot of fun. They have the Long Bar. They have the new sports bar, the sports book, I should say, Bar Canada. So go to the D.com, book your room today. Best bang for your buck, too, because it's inexpensive. I know in a few weeks, I believe Mike Rico will be there for the NCAA. It's the D Las Vegas. Go to the D.com today, book your room.
The credit's $3.89.
Las Vegas.
97.1 The Ticket.
What a ripoff.
From the WWJ EMI 50 Traffic Center, picked up an accident in the Clinton Township area, Metro Parkway westbound at Gratiot Avenue. Police are on the scene. 94 westbound right after the lodge. Another accident is blocking that left lane and shoulder. Also seeing delays as drivers head into the work zone on 275 northbound from Michigan Avenue to M1496, where one lane is open until Monday. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
My Friday nights usually spent out, but since my friends got Xfinity Internet, Friday nights in are where it's at. Because Xfinity has Wi-Fi speeds faster than a gig to power a house full of connected devices all at once. We got our show streaming, playlists bumping, and games galore. That's gig speed Wi-Fi for every great night in. Can your internet do that? Come on, y'all. The coasters aren't just for decoration.
Now through March 7th, ask how to get a special offer of $200 back when you get gig speed internet. Or get started with Xfinity Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. New Connect 50 megabits per second internet customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. After term, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet and Xfi gateway. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. The majority of homeowners in Michigan gained well in excess of $30,000 in equity in 2021. And Hall Financial is here to help you tap into your home's equity with a cash-out refinance. We'll even cover the cost of your appraisal, saving you up to $750. Get started right now at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Hall Financial, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 1467435.
BetMGM welcomes you with a special offer on the NBA. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any game. If either team hits a three-pointer, you'll win $200 in free bets. Just use bonus code STONY200. Plus, you'll earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for online bonuses or converted into comps to rooms, restaurants, and more at over 20 MGM resorts nationwide. BetMGM is proud to be an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use the bonus code STONY200 to win $200 in free bets if either team hits a three-pointer. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Michigan only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
I love my hardwood floors, but I wasn't sure how to take care of them. Carrying around a bucket was such a hassle. And even worse, my string mop left streaks and haze behind. Then I found Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, the all-in-one tool made specially for wood floors. Its microfiber-like pad is soft, and it sprays a light mist solution that dries fast. With Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, it's easy to keep up with the mess on my wood floors. Paving that list.
Swiffer Wet Jet Wood, proud member of the National Wood Floor Association.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Flo from Progressive. Being a baseball fanatic like me can be stressful. It's not all sports points and touchdowns. So Progressive is going to help you take your mind off your team for a moment. Instead of thinking about how they missed that goal point score, think about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, letting you choose coverage options based on your budget. Unlike your team that missed the end zone net area. Well, anyway, hope this distraction about Progressive's Name Your Price tool was helpful. It sure kept me from thinking about all those penalty balls. Yay, sports!
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Your opinion matters. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 D Ticket Studio line at 248-539-9797. Book your stay at the D by visiting thed.com. The D Las Vegas, the home of Detroit sports in Vegas.
Necessary roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jansen. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
97-1, the tickets. The Wizards beat the Pistons in Washington last night. That's 14 straight. The Wizards beat the Pistons in D.C. 161-13. Jeremy Grant with 29. Cade had 20. That loss. Make sure. Worst thing in the world. Better. The Red Wings a little more fortunate at home. Nice overtime win. Lucas Raymond with the overtime winner. Dylan Larkin tied it, beating Carolina 4-3. A very good team that they beat too. So that was pretty nice for the Red Wings. Other college basketball besides the Michigan State we'll continue to get into. First round of the Horizon, U of D. They beat Wisconsin Green Bay's Antoine Davis at 38. Oakland U defeated IUPUI, who only played five players. So games were canceled because COVID teams sometimes didn't have 8 players, but because it's a tournament game, they allowed the game to be played with 5. Whatever. Anyway, both of them advanced. And I don't know if you guys saw this. it's on Sports Center when I woke up. Nick Stauskas had like 57 points for the Grand Rapids G League team last night.
I did see that.
It's like first 12 shots. And also, we were just talking about, Wisconsin, Purdue. I didn't realize, shame on me till just now, that because Wisconsin was winning, seemed to be in control for a decent part of the game. When I was paying attention to it. But Wisconsin won at the buzzer.
Yes.
Humphrey with a shot at the buzzer after Ivy ties it, with under 10 seconds left. So that was pretty cool. Finish to that game. But yes, Wisconsin wins the Big Ten regular season championship. Michigan over Michigan State, like we mentioned, 87-70. And which team do you think can make a longer run in the tournament? And look, the best player on either team, I think we agree is Hunter Dickinson. We agree to that?
I agree with that. Overall, he's probably the one that can be neutralized or taken out of the game simply because he's really good at twos. But yes. in today's basketball, you got to be able to hit threes.
True, and if Michigan is not shooting well, then you let him do what he wants to do, and to a certain extent, unless he's abusing you, which happened last night. I had no problem with the strategy of
let him get his.
Hopefully our seals are better than theirs, and he won't be able to dominate. But when you have a player who is just abusing your team, at least to me, and you guys out there, 248-539-9797, know the X's and O's better than I do, there didn't seem to be any adjustment to what he was doing.
No, and he was efficient, especially early on.
That's on his and his coaching staff. I think that's bad. I think it was bad coaching last night.
Well, especially when you're going for, we talked about this yesterday. Tom Izzo going for the all-time record wins in the Big Ten, and yet he was unable to make that adjustment last night. And maybe it's an adjustment that they just couldn't make, or they felt like they were going to be able to make more baskets in the second half, and they were going to be more efficient from outside. There's a lot of different reasons that you could look at and say, okay, this is why they didn't double team Hunter Dickinson. But in the first half, Hunter Dickinson, honestly, he couldn't miss. And he was very efficient from, his post moves. That's one of the things where you watch early on in Michigan, in games. And if Hunter Dickinson is on from in the paint, and it's that little baby hook, or it's the turnaround jumper, those are ones where if he misses, or he's just coming up short, and he gets a rebound and misses an easy putback, that's where Michigan's really going to struggle. When he is hitting those like he did last night, now all of a sudden, hey, your eyebrows go up and go, hey, we got a shot to be in this game.
And when you're hearing, some of the stuff from both the teams, especially some of the stuff from Michigan State that I was reading, Izzo, Gabe Brown, we didn't have enough energy. How could you not have energy in that game? Now, granted,